I'm Becky Saunders. I am Digital Advertising Innovation Manager at Fairfax Media, soon to be rebranded Stuff. My role is focused on driving strategy for our programmatic platforms and offering new opportunities to customers to engage in the programmatic landscape. At Fairfax, we aim to help Kiwis connect and thrive in their communities. We're obviously a publishing business, so we have the #1 local news and entertainment website, stuff.co.nz, that we connect with Kiwis on a daily basis, as well as a large range of mastheads, publications that reach out into the regions and the communities of New Zealand, and we also engage in a number of other ways, including events and in other areas of the business. The theme resonates really strongly with me. I think in the programmatic landscape, programmatic as a term can be considered to be quite scary and frightening. You know, there's a lot of complexity talked about, and in digital we don't make it particularly easy. We use a lot of acronyms. We talk about a large number of subjects that are quite frightening. So I think simplicity is really kind of at the core of what we need to be doing to make programmatic more accessible. The technology is simply there to help advertisers buy in a more efficient, more effective way, to be able to use their own customer data and really be responsive and a bit more agile and drive really great results for their brands. So the complexity to be taken out of it a little bit I think we have to go back to the core of what advertisers are actually trying to achieve and look at the goals for the campaigns, where they sit in the wider marketing plan, and look at those basics, kind of going back to basics in digital. What are you trying to achieve? Are we doing it in the right way? Are you in great environments? And are you achieving that result? So I think that the role of the publisher is somewhat the same and has somewhat changed in the last few years. I think at the core of it, as a publisher, we have to create really compelling, great content. And the goal of that is obviously to have our audiences come back and engage consistently with that content. So at the core of it, publishers have to still continue to do that, because those audiences are our advertisers' customers. And so it's really important to focus on that. I think things have changed a little bit in market. So CAPEX and the creation of CAPEX has been a really good example of a bit of a change. 4 of the major media publishers came together and decided that we would create a premium local marketplace in the programmatic space, which allows advertisers one place to get that really local premium inventory in one destination. So really making it a bit easier for people to transact programmatically at scale in the New Zealand market. And that's quite a change from the traditional competitor kind of environment. So publishers are looking at new ways to create other opportunities to engage with their advertisers and brands. Alongside that, I think publishers still have a really important job to do to keep innovating in the digital space, providing different formats, different ways for those brands to engage with their customers. And that could be anything from, you know, content marketing-led activity, new ad formats, native advertising, which, you know, at Fairfax we have created our own proprietary native technology, and you know, it's just another path to the customer for brands. So I think that innovation is required consistently, and then being able to make it a really easy purchase process and allow advertisers to use the data that programmatic allows them to use, customer data, in a really effective way just to get the best results possible. I think complexity is probably quite a good word. I think particularly in programmatic, there is a lot of noise, and so sometimes just clearing some of that noise is really important. I personally believe that a lot of the challenges and complexities that come and are talked about in the programmatic space come from a couple of core areas that if advertisers and brands spend time getting right, a lot of that noise is removed. So for me, there are some really core things that I think brands and advertisers should think about. Brand safety is a major. It will continue to be a major for years to come. Everybody's heard about the YouTube sort of scenario earlier this year where there was scandal around premium brands against really offensive content, hate speech, terrorist organisations, and it sparked a conversation around brand safety, which I think is really important. I think brands have to feel confident that they know what they're buying in programmatic, because that's one of the challenges is, you know, it feels like magic and a whole lot of technology in there. And again, that complexity can actually hide the core of where is my advertising being displayed? Am I happy with the environments that my brand is appearing in and the content against which it's appearing? So I think that is a very important part of what brands need to look at. And I think there are options around that now moving forward. I also think that if you get that right and you're comfortable with the sites that your ads are appearing on, I think that solves other problems like fraudulent ad fraud, so fraudulent activities. I think if you can honestly drill down and understand that as an advertiser, I think that gets rid of a lot of the lack of transparency. So for me, brand safety, huge and really important to start asking the questions around, am I happy that my brand is on a particular site, on a particular page, and do I know that it's there? How do I check that? So, important. I'm looking forward to talking to brands and customers, and I really want to hear some of the really good news stories about programmatic. I think we quite often focus on some of those areas that are the challenges, like I've mentioned before. I think the whole benefit of programmatic is that there's some great work being done out there that just drives the use of data and responsiveness in a way that traditional digital never really has been able to do before. So yeah, I'd like to hear some really great stories and case studies and talk to those customers to understand what they're doing and talk to people about how they can take on board some of those lessons and yeah, and grow their programmatic experience into a more pleasurable one that delivers better results.